over in Warsaw. Maja Kuczyńska, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. It's been a long time. It feels a couple of years since I've seen you, Maja.
Yeah, I haven't really, the competitions haven't been happening anymore. It feels a little bit like I'm kind of getting a little distanced from that world, but hopefully not for super long anymore.
How are you finding it during this crazy 12 months of the pandemic, being stuck in one place? Are you dealing with it okay?
Yeah, I'm dealing with it okay. I think I don't have to necessarily. Of course, my job doesn't require me to go to a daily job, so I don't feel as affected as I guess most people would feel. But yeah, I'm a very travel-oriented person, and I start getting really, I wouldn't say stressed out, but how would you say it? I
Itchy feet, we say it in England.
Yeah.
Wanted
when
to
I
stop
don't
moving.
move in a while, if I start feeling a little caged.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's all good.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the summer in Poland, the restrictions were pretty low because the infections were quite low. But now, of course, it's going back up as it is everywhere. So.
Yeah. Well, you've got this great new project, this great video, which came out a few days ago with Luke Chapila, the Red Bull athlete, the aerobatic athlete, and it's Game of Air, I think it's called, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was based on the game of Skate, which is the game where one person shows a trick and then the other person tries to do the same trick. And this comes from skateboarding originally. And the first person would do a skateboarding trick, and if the second person couldn't do it, that person would get one letter of the word skate. I think we wanted to start with flight, but then we realized how many jumps that would take to film. And I think and that's how we settled on air, because we wanted to show some of the things that he fails as well as some of the things that I fail, because there's many things that we can't do from each other's sports, obviously.
Where did you do the jumps, Maja?
In Bilbet, in Slovenia. That was the most beautiful place I've ever jumped. It was also incredible because the sunsets are pretty early, and the sun kind of shines really strongly, like the rays of the sun through the rocks. Yeah. It was really beautiful. There's some pictures from the sunsets that I don't know if you've seen, but they're really, really cool.
Yeah, there's one particular shot where you're in the door looking back into the aircraft at the camera, and Luke is outside, just at an angle there, and your face, it looks like, yeah, come on, game on. It's a great shot.
But it was funny because we later realized that there was no shots that they could use where I was in the plane and I was like smiling and cheery, and because I was always kind of like a little worried when I was ready to go. I was like, okay, is it time to go? Is it time to go? So I was kind of always straight-faced. Yeah. And then it looks like I'm really angry in that video. It wasn't like the energy at all, but more like concentration for sure.
When was it? When did you do the shoot?
A long time ago. So there was problems with it was during that time in the summer where the restrictions were lowered all around Europe. So travel was pretty simple. We could get, with all the restrictions, we managed to, I think it was in September or October, no, even earlier, maybe August, September last year. Something happened with the footage, and then they wanted to wait for the snow to melt, so it kind of seemed like the timing was more normal.
Yeah,
it took a while.
How do you feel about these big productions? It's different than just flying in a tunnel or just jumping out of a plane when you're part of a set and part of a production. Do you like it?
Yes. I love productions. I think it's my favorite part of my job when I do those big projects, because obviously there's the people really cool, and everybody was really good at their job. And that was the coolest part, that everybody there was professional in what they were doing, which was epic.
You normally get good catering as well. That always helps, doesn't it? You get the good food.
We actually had a really lovely lady that was cooking for us every day, and I was like super surprised. She was like the angel of our set.
Yeah, fantastic. As it should be. So let's go back right to the beginning. You did your first jump. I didn't realize until I was doing a bit of research. You did your first jump when you were 10 with your father. You did a tandem.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I barely remember it. I think even when I landed, I barely remembered it because I wasn't in so much shock. I think there's even a video on YouTube. And when I landed, or when the parachute opened, I didn't remember the entire part from the plane till when the parachute opened.
Yeah.
Because I was just not there. But I landed, and the first thing I said was, I want to go again. So I guess it was fun.
Did you grow up on a drop zone? Were you there every weekend at the D's level?
Not really, no, because I think my dad started getting into skydiving when we lived in Kiev, at which point I didn't really travel to that drop zone with my dad because it wasn't that close. And I never ended up living next to a drop zone. I always kind of lived pretty close to tunnels, but not really close to drop zones.
You moved around a lot, didn't you, when you were younger? Many different countries.
Yes, I lived in, so it was Poland, and then it was Munich for 5 years, and then it was France, like Paris for 2 years, and then Kiev for 3 years, and then Prague, and then Wrocław, and now I live in Warsaw.
Do you remember much about those early places? Or does it all seem distant memory?
I remember a lot of really random things. Obviously, as from childhood, you'd remember a lot of random things. Yeah. I really enjoy living in Prague, though. I have a lot of really good memories from Prague. That's where I started flying the tunnel. Yeah. And it's a really cool place.
How did that come about, the tunnel? Was it something you were always going to do, or was it a spur of the moment decision? How did it start?
So I think also in 2010, my dad took me, after the skydive, we also went to Moscow where there was a wind tunnel. Yeah. The free zone one. Yeah. And I think we did maybe like 20 minutes or something, like each one of my family members. And I really enjoyed it, and same with the rest of my family. But when we moved to Prague, I started actually getting into it more and going to train. I think I did 15 minutes a week at the beginning, and then started to get a little more.
And you were a gymnast from being younger, so you were athletic and you had body awareness. That definitely would have helped you, do you think?
Yes. I actually have an older brother. And he didn't start tunnel flying because I think he also didn't enjoy sports as much, for example. I did gymnastics since I was 7. Not very, later on, not very, not competitively or anything like that. Not very vigorously. But then I stopped completely when I was around 12 to start competing more in the tunnel.
In the tunnel, you really took to it, your skills advanced really quickly, finding yourself 2015 in Prague at the World Championships and becoming the FAI Junior Freestyle Champion.
I mean, for me, it didn't feel like it was quickly. Because I started training when I was 11, and then when I was 12, I went to my first competition, which was in Bottrop. Yes. Bottrop. Yeah. No, Bedford.
Bedford. The World Egg, not the World Challenge.
Exactly, yes. That one. And then the same one in 2013, or maybe it was 2013 and 2014. And then, so I already had kind of like when you're like 12 or 13, 3 years seem like forever. Yeah. So for me, I was already flying in the tunnel forever before I even started flying freestyle. Yes.
Freestyle to you became your thing. What is it about freestyle which you find so attractive in the tunnel?
I really enjoy doing, or I enjoy progressing by myself, because for me it feels like unlocking like challenges or something like that, where it feels like I'm actually working. Well, I mean, of course, when you get like advice and stuff here from other people, the thing is that way you kind of get told how you do it, and you don't get the discovery, the fun part that I always enjoyed, which was just going in there and trying. For example, I don't know if I wanted to do something specific that I saw somebody else do, I would watch that video and try to figure out how to do it myself, or the same with anything else. Like if I had an idea. So in freestyle, I felt like I had that freedom to be able to choose how I progress and when. Like if I decided that this week I didn't feel like doing breakers at all, I didn't have to at all. And so I think the freedom, for sure.
That's really interesting that you went through that process of figuring things out for yourself. That's really interesting. That's a real adventure, isn't it? An adventure of discovery, like you say.
Yeah, it was really fun. Like same with, I wouldn't understand like if somebody showed you how to play a video game, or if somebody showed you how to whatever. It's, of course, it's the faster way, and then maybe later, if you already kind of understand the basics and you want a specific goal in mind. Let's say if my goal in mind was to go to dynamic and be faster than everybody else, then of course the best course of action would be for me to go to the fastest person and ask them how they do it.
Right.
But in freestyle, I don't think that there's no straight lines like that. In freestyle, you can kind of create whatever effect at the end that you choose to create.
Yeah. So I think for a lot of people, for me especially, and I know many other people as well, seeing you at the Win Games in 2016 with that rendition of Chandelier was absolutely mind-blowing. It was just beautiful art in front of our eyes happening. Tell me about that moment. Tell me about that competition for you.
The 2016 one. I don't remember that much from that competition, to be honest, other than the fact that now that I look at the video, the flying is really a lot less cool than I thought from memories. But really? I know that, yeah, because, you know, the flying has progressed so fast now that it's it's really funny to look back and be like, ooh, that wasn't that great, especially since the most popular video that actually ended up taking over the internet for a while was from one of the rounds where I smacked into the glass. And it's like nobody even notices it. It's really funny, but I mean, to me it was really cool. But that video that went viral was actually not filmed by myself or by somebody I knew. It was filmed by someone from the crowd, and they actually ended up selling the video to like a video content company that said that I don't have any rights to the video because you can't see my face or anything. So they got the video and they posted it all over the place and said that they will not like give me any credit for it and stuff like that. So when actually that whole situation was really stressful for me because I was 16 and I was really emotional, and I was so happy that like I was getting recognized, and then suddenly this company comes in and earns lots of money on my video and tells me that I don't have any rights to it because I didn't fake it.
I remember having that conversation with you. They made a fortune off that, didn't they? That was incredible. I remember we had a chat about that. Yeah, that was really. I
don't know how much they made, but for sure I was like crying. Yeah. I was so upset about that.
Yeah. How did your life change after that, Maja? After that, such millions of views and people becoming aware of you, didn't know of you before. Did you notice a change? Did you find your life changed?
Not necessarily in my day-to-day life. Like you would think that what happens on the internet or or like on TV, or things that people actually pay attention to in real life, but that's not necessarily true. I think the only difference is that if I meet new people and we start talking and I give them my Instagram handle, they comment on my followers. And that's about the only thing that has really changed in my day-to-day life. Yeah. But I mean, I really appreciate a lot of the times when, for example, I get DMs from a lot of like young girls who fly in the tunnel, and they get like, they're really, I don't know, excited to be learning or like trying to do some of the moves that I do. That's a positive thing for her.
Yeah. You must get a lot of DMs coming through to try and go through them all and find the ones which you need to reply to and get through. There must be a lot.
I do get a lot of DMs, and sometimes I'll, for example, chat with somebody and then not remember what the name was or what the picture was, and then it's gone forever. For example, like, I don't know, recently somebody asked to buy my rig from me, and I responded, and then I went back to whatever I was doing, and then I can't find it anymore. Yeah. So whoever you are who wanted to buy my rig.
Yeah, now you can get back in touch. You can put a comment on this video. So skydiving, you started skydiving. I remember it. I remember seeing a video of you. I think, was it in Ampura Brava? You had about 20 jumps and you were doing stuff in the sky, which 99.99% of skydivers will never be able to do. It was absolutely incredible. Were you always going to go into skydiving, or was that something which became an idea? Tell me how that transition happened.
I think so. I'm for sure like a go with the flow type of person, not in the sense that I don't care what I do in the future or whatever. I just find that if I kind of work in a certain direction, like, naturally those things will end up happening. So I always knew that if this is the life I choose, like if I want to, do the indoor skydiving and I don't know, work on social media presence and things like that, of course that's the natural way to go. And I also don't say this in a way that I just did it because I needed to or something like that. I genuinely wanted to, but for sure, like, I sometimes think about it, like if for the past 10 years of my life, I've been tunnel flying. Yeah. Of course, like the people, the environment must have affected my decision making in the past, but now it's just, I like skydiving.
Yeah, because it's not a natural given that somebody who spent so long in a tunnel and reached a certain level in the tunnel would actually enjoy skydiving. It's not a natural transition. It's just really, really fortunate and cool for you that you did like skydiving and you have took to it so well. It wouldn't normally, it's not guaranteed to be that way, is it?
It's not guaranteed, but I am always shocked when my friends like don't want to go skydiving after tunnel flying. I mean, I understand it's different because tunnel flying is like, it's like a little glass box where you can feel like a cartoon character for a little bit. Yeah. And skydiving is like jumping out of an airplane. So I understand there's a really big difference in that sense, but I never really felt because it's always been so normal to me, I never really felt that stress, like, oh, this is something that might kill me. Of course, I'm also not saying this in like a rash way that I would just go skydiving and expect to be okay all the time. But for sure, it's never been something like a rash that caused like irrational fear. I've never been afraid of heights, or planes or anything like that. Yeah.
I've been jumping 30 years and I am scared of heights. I can't go on tall buildings.
How did you start then?
Pardon?
How did you start then?
It was just something I wanted to try. I mean, it was a long time ago, and it was just something I always thought, I need to have a go at this. In the back of my mind, I was never really associated it with heights. Being in the plane and looking out and being under parachute, I never really. In fact, sometimes every now and again, I'll be under canopy. Once every 5 years or something, I'll be under canopy and suddenly think, oh, I'm high up. But it's very rare.
I agree. I think it's the perspective thing where you can't see actually how high you are because it's just like so far away.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. That's something that I actually explain to people that tell me that they have fear of heights and that's why they don't want to go skydiving. I just tell them that the scariest part of the jump is when you're in the plane because you can see that the plane is not on the ground. But when you're already outside of the plane, it's like, what can you do?
And so when Red Bull got involved, were you already jumping or was that before you started jumping?
That was before. I think I've been officially sponsored for skydiving as well for only about a year now, a year and a bit. And before that, it was just for the tunnel.
How is it with Red Bull? Is it a constant engagement every day with them, or do they leave you alone, or do you have to? How does it work? How does the sponsorship workload for you? Is it a daily process you have to go through?
No, of course, no. It's not a daily process, 100%. But it's more. I would imagine like working with a company. For example, if you wanted to work with FlySpot, you know, they accept videos from you. If you have some nice videos, they will promote me on their social media if I promote them on mine, you know. We of course have like a contract with like requirements as well, but it's mostly just a trust relationship where I give them as much as I can from like what I can possibly give them, which is content, and they support me if, for example, I want to go somewhere, or if I'm currently, or for projects. For example, that project I did with Kira came from Red Bull, the one in Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
It was like actually Red Bull's idea, or I think it was the Abu Dhabi tunnel contacted Red Bull, and then Red Bull asked us to join. So it's kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but it's for sure not like they're not holding a gun to me or anything. Right. I'm really happy. Good.
And all the projects you've done over the last 4 or 5 years, some outstanding ones, surreal ones, which come to mind as being the ones that have just been mind-blowing for you?
For sure, the one now with the plane was insane. Because it was myself, there were so many cool people and so many machines. It was just like this two helicopters were there at one point, 2 planes, 1 acrobatic plane, 1 like the Pilatus, the Red Bull Pilatus. We had like amazing like the helicopters. Most of the shots that you might have seen where it was like the plane and myself, like a little me, those were taken from a helicopter. So I thought that was insane that, and not only were those pictures, we actually got to see some videos. So with how good the camera quality from the helicopter was, we got to see like me exiting from the plane and falling in real time. And then the plane, it was obviously really small and zoomed out, but they could follow me for like a kilometer. It was crazy. I was mind blown by that. And actually, Łukasz and I tried to keep us safe. We for sure kept a very safe distance between us the entire time. We were never closer than maybe like 40 meters, even further, probably like 50 meters. But at one point, we actually did have one jump where I exited and I was doing a jump by myself. So it was just myself and Łukasz in the plane. So I jump out of the Pilatus on my back. And he was doing something like this where, so the plane obviously falls a lot faster than I do. So we had to do really weird speed controls where I would have to, like at the beginning, fly really slowly. So as you can see in most of the photos, my arms and legs are spread pretty wide because the maneuver that the plane did was, Łukasz was kind of next to the Pilatus, and then he had to go up and then just flip the plane downward, so there was no gas from the engine actually propelling him downwards. Right. That was just gravity. So that we could stay together for a longer time. But he was constantly also circling, and And when he was circling, I think it was like 8 G's of force on him, of gravity. Like ridiculous, something crazy. But one of the jumps we did, and we ended up being really close because the timing was crazy hard to do. So when we were really close, it was really crazy. So imagine jumping out and you can see a plane coming at you, and I could see Łukasz's face inside the little driving bubble, and we were maybe like 20 meters away, and we were doing like a head down 2-way.
Fantastic.
Myself and the plane. And we actually, for that jump, Marco wasn't there, so there was no outside camera. It was just a jump with the, I think we were doing something with the helicopter. So on the plane, so it's not even filmed. That one jump wasn't even filmed, but I'll remember it forever. Just like doing a head down 2-way with an airplane, like a track jump.
Did you ever hear the engine? Did you ever hear the engine of the aircraft?
No, I don't know.
There's been a couple of times that we've jumped out and the plane has followed, and sometimes you just catch the noise of the turboprop there. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So while you've been there in Warsaw, what have you been doing? You've been getting back into art a little bit, I think I saw.
Yeah, so I've been doing art. I've been learning for my driver's license because I still don't have a driver's license. So I'm doing the theoretical test soon. Yeah. Because in Poland, it's a lot of questions. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I know it's probably like that everywhere. But some of the questions are really, really stupid because the specific like phrasing of the questions is done in like a mean way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like some
try
of the
and catch you out.
Yeah, like just so you have to really focus on exactly which one of the words is used. Like, are you overtaking or passing? And in Polish, all the words seem the same, and I don't speak Polish very well, and so it's just been a little bit of a struggle for me. And other than that, I've just been flying. Right now, I feel a little bit sick, so I'm staying at home for the next few days until I figure out if I'm actually sick or not.
Are you still doing some tunnel, Maja, when you get the opportunity?
Yes. Yeah, when I get the opportunity. Now I've been a little bit quiet with the tunnel flying because, and I know that's a really weird excuse, but I got a helix piercing, and I know that and you have to wait for it to heal for 4 months, and you're technically not supposed to wear a helmet for 4 months. And I've been doing it because I don't think there's going to be at any point in my life a time where I won't be wearing a helmet for 4 months straight. So we're just going to see how it works. For now, I've just been kind of toning down on the tunnel flying, but I've been going, especially during the evenings.
And what have you got planned coming up for the summertime? Any projects, or is it all quiet at the moment with lockdown? How's it looking for you?
There's always talks about doing things. For example, I want to go again to the big tunnel. Possibly there's a possibility that with Red Bull we'll do something about that. But for now, it's just ideas of stuff we could do. But because of lockdown, traveling's been really stressful for me. I'm going to Luxembourg in like a week and a half, and hopefully because I need to get a COVID test there and back.
Right.
You know, and then going to a foreign country and getting a test in that foreign country, and I don't know. Yeah. But I'll figure it out for sure. Hopefully it'll work.
It almost feels like travel is something we used to do, doesn't it? It feels like a different life. Traveling, you know, it's crazy.
And I used to travel so much, and now it's I don't know, I feel a little bit overwhelmed, but I think that's everyone for sure.
Yeah, we do. Well, Maja, thanks for the time. It's been really, really good to catch up with you and to get an insight into what's been going on. But Maja, get well soon. Hope you're traveling again soon, and take care. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.